Hey, what is going on, guys? We have YouTuber here, back with another video, and welcome to part 3 of my series to do with the ban list, in which in this video I'll be talking about the semi-limited list. A couple things to mention first. First of all, thank you for all the comments you have given on the previous 2 videos in this series. As I said, I wanted to generate an individual discussion on each individual video, which is precisely what has happened. Secondly, I want to apologise for my lack of content of late. It's basically because the Olympics have started, and I have to be honest, I love the Olympics. I think it's a really great thing to watch. I basically watch it all day, every day, and I have to apologise. But I'll be uploading content on a regular basis again very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that, guys. Okay, so regarding the list, as I said before, Konami are basically moneymakers. Just like they don't like nerfing a deck too much so that it gets killed off, they also like to bring cards back from a deck that was previously nerfed and placed on the list so that they can make more money off it. The latest example being 6 Samurais after the structure deck has been released. So you can fully expect cards like that to be on the list. I personally feel that the cards that Konami limited in the last year or so were limited for silly reasons, such as Book of Moon, and there's a lot of cards that I feel that support certain archetypes which didn't need to be limited at all, and that could be brought back to semi-limited. And for that reason, the theme of this semi-limited list will essentially be how you can repair the format after they demolish it after the current ban list in terms of the banned and limited list, if they do what in fact I believe they will do. You know, just nerfing Rabbit, Insectors, Windups, Chaos Dragons, maybe some Chain Burn, maybe some Final Countdown, etc. You get my drift. But anyway, guys, let's get on to that list, shall we? Okay, so the first 2 cards I'm going to be dealing with are Forbidden Lance and Book of Moon. Now, if they put Book of Moon to 1 in a format that was ridiculously crazy, and everyone was running 3 of the card, and now people are running 3 Forbidden Lance, why don't they do the same thing to Forbidden Lance? Regarding the card itself, I don't need to tell you guys how good this card is. Rabbit runs it at 3. Basically, it protects you from all spell speed 2 or lower spells and traps. It enables you to get over all those really tough monsters. You can set it as a kind of a decoy, and then when your opponent attacks, you can just go, ha, Lance. I would go so far as to say that it is the most versatile quick play spell card in the game. Strangely, even though every deck doesn't run it now, I feel that if they put this card to 1 rather than to 2, it would actually become a staple, ironically, which is sort of the same thing that happened with Book of Moon. But should we leave Book of Moon where it is? Should we leave it at 1? Is the card too good to be put at 2 or 3? I personally don't think so. I think we're Forbidden Lance around, which is infinitely superior to Book of Moon, that they could easily bring this card back to 2 and it wouldn't damage the game in any way. See, the thing is, Book of Moon works in every single situation that Forbidden Lance also works in, except Forbidden Lance is better. They bottomless trap hole, you Book of Moon, you've -1 and your monster is face down so it can't attack, whereas if you lance your monster, at least it can still do stuff. As for attacking over more powerful monsters, or more powerful monsters attacking into yours, if you respond with Lance, you can destroy their monster, whereas if you respond with Book of Moon, it's an instant -1. If it's your turn and you attack, again, you're just flipping into defense, you're not doing any damage, whereas if you use Lance, you can do some battle damage. Okay, so in the OCG, Radius Dragon's Metal Dragon is extremely popular in Hermetic Dragons, but he's also popular in other decks such as Chaos Dragons, Dragonities, and Disaster Dragon. In my opinion, for that reason, the card is too versatile to remain at 3. It needs to be brought down to 2 to even out the playing field, and it wouldn't shut down the likes of Disaster Dragon or Heretics, who claim that they have to run it at 3. It would just slow the deck down, and that is a perfectly fair move to make, in my opinion. I mean, what else is there to say? He makes great custom max plays. You can special summon when banishing a face of dragon, which is really, really easy. He can special summon a dragon from your hand or graveyard once per turn, which is ridiculously overpowered. So the card just needs to be hit. So whether you run Chain Burn, Final Countdown, or any kind of stall deck, 1 Day Peace has become a staple in all of those decks. And for that reason, I feel it needs to go to 2. In fact, I'm being a little generous because a lot of people in their lists are saying that it needs to go to 1 or be banned altogether. Because the card is just ridiculous. You just protect yourself for a turn. It's better than Waboku, it's better than all that stuff. Plus you get to draw a card. Fair enough. Your opponent gets to draw a card as well, but it's a card they won't be able to do anything with until the turn after their next one. And I'm not saying placing it at 2 will solve the issue, but it'll certainly help. They won't draw it as often, and by definition, they won't be able to stall for as long, or as effectively. Okay, another card is Miracle Fusion. This card could very easily go to 1, so again, I'm being a little generous here. And they're not winning the American Nationals, but they certainly won the Japanese Nationals, and that makes you wonder whether or not Konami in the OCG will decide to hit the deck in some shape or form. Other people have mentioned the Shining as a possible card to semi-limit or limit, but there's no point in doing this if you're semi-limiting or limiting the Miracle Fusion, which covers all of the elemental hero fusions, not just the Shining. As for some cards they could bring back to 2, Legendary 6 Samurai Shien is the first possibility, since his re-release in the Rare Yellow Mega Pack, and the structure deck for 6 Samurai is coming out. He has become a lot more popular, and a lot more people are going to want to run this deck. So if Konami want to be smart and make money off this, they're going to bring Shien back to 2. And fair enough, Shien is an amazing card. He can be brought out really, really easily, especially now since the deck is so freely available. And Sam's, of course, did win WCQ Central America. But as moneymakers, Konami's philosophy has always been that if you nerf one particular deck, you have to bring another one back. Okay, so this is the start of my whole agent boosting thing. The first card is Honest. They should bring Honest back to 2. Because there was, again, it was originally in Lightsworns, but now you can run it in Chaos Dragons, you can run it in Agents, you can run it in a bunch of stuff. It's not even broken anymore. It's just a card that people like to tech in, and again, the reason that people like to tech it in is because it's only at 1, but if it's at 2, people might only deck it in specific decks. And the Agent of Mystery Earth should also be brought back to 2. I don't know why they put this card at 1. Fair enough, I know that Agents were successful in the OCG. I'm aware of this fact, but they weren't that successful here. And it's not that successful anymore, and putting it at 2 wouldn't make it ridiculously broken, since the only target they usually have is Venus, and you're usually going to draw into one of them in your opening hand anyway. Fair enough, he's a good searcher, he's light, he's a tuner, you can overlay with Mystical Shineball, but he's slow. His only target is usually Venus anyway, on occasion Master Hyperion. For me, it was a bit of a panic limit on the part of Konami, after Agents were so successful, and they could easily bring this guy back to 2 with no visible repercussions for the metagame. Okay, so the next card is Limit Removal. People claim that Konami don't anticipate based on the deck that's up and coming, and Girga decks are an example of this. However, I think they will in this case. They'll have to give Girgas a bit more support, so they're going to bring Limit Removal back to 2, in my opinion. Because Girgas on their own aren't really top tier at all. They just search a lot and flip a lot of stuff face down, and they don't really do anything. I can't really see them competing against any of the top tier decks. So that's why they should bring this back to 2, just to give them a little bit more support and a bit of OTK potential. Okay, so my final 2 cards are Mizuki and Tech Jet Striker. Mizuki first. I used to love zombies, and zombies aren't as good as they used to be, but they're still pretty good. Why not make them a little better? Why not make them more playable, since they're nerfing so many of the top tier decks? Now this isn't in support of any archetype in particular. I just feel that zombies could use a boost. And of course, this falls in line with what Konami typically do. If a deck has become so underplayed to the point that nobody even knows about it anymore, then they'll tend to completely unlimit or unrestrict certain aspects of that deck. Mizuki is an example of this, and I fully expect that they will either semi-limit or remove him from the list entirely. Okay, so in my opinion, as for Tech Gen Striker, there was no reason for Konami to limit this guy in the first place. The deck was really, really good, don't get me wrong. The fact that you could keep searching up other Tech Gen monsters and Striker being a target twice or 3 times was pretty ridiculous. And you could just sink like crazy, swarm, draw, destroy, do all that stuff that the synchros do. But 2 would simply make him playable again in both Agents and Tech Gen's stun builds. But this was a card I wasn't particularly sure about, so please comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think. Also, let me know what you think of the rest of the cards on this list. Anyway guys, that is it for the video. Thank you so much for watching as usual. Be sure to comment, rate, and subscribe. I apologise if it was a little bit rushed, but I want to go and watch the Olympics again, so yeah. But anyway, I'll be putting up the final part of this segment, or this series, to do with the no longer on list category, which is a bit weird. They basically reserve it, as I said, for cards that are so underused that Konami just don't even notice them anymore, and they just decide to take them off the list, just to give people a bit of options. They did it with Call the Haunted in the last ban list, which was a bit of a surprise to me, but then I realised that the format sped up so ridiculously that it didn't actually affect anything at all, and the only deck that ran it at 3 was Insectors, and that was even at a push, you know? So in any case, thank you for watching as always, and thank you for all your support on this series so far. Be sure to keep up those comments, keep up those opinions, let me know what you guys think of my choices. If they're crap, please tell me, and if you agree with any of them, again, please tell me again. Do you think that my idea of Konami is correct, in the sense that if they limit a particular deck, that they should support another one? Or do you think that's complete crazy? Although I'm basing this on 10 years of experience, because I've been playing the game since the beginning, and that is always, always, always what they have done. Always. So, I'm basing on experience anyways. Anyway guys, I will catch you guys later. I'm going to watch some Olympics, and I hope you guys are watching it too. See you guys later. Bye.